I agreed to open our marriage because I thought it would fix us. Instead, it fixed her rent. Let me back up. Our marriage wasn't dying exactly, it was just suffocating under a pile of laundry, PTA sign-up sheets, and the same 6 dinners on rotation. We weren't broken, just boring. Or at least, that's what I told myself while I stood in line at Costco comparing protein bars and wondering if sex once every 17 days meant we were normal or roommates with taxes. Eric was the one who brought it up. Not during a fight. Not during therapy. No, he brought it up during brunch. Have you ever thought about, opening things up? He said between bites of sourdough and avocado, like he was asking if I wanted to try oat milk. I blinked, what like a swinger thing? No, not swinging, not gross, just more honest, more intentional. We'd have rules, equality, boundaries. He even used words like ethical non-monogamy and relationship design. He'd clearly been practicing. I should have said no. But we'd been together 11 years. We done couples therapy. We tried the weekend getaway that ended with him asleep by 8 and me Googling how to feel sexy when your husband treats you like a houseplant. So I said yes. We made a list. We set rules. Full honesty. No mutual friends. No overnights. No money involved. And absolutely, under no circumstances, could it be anyone we had worked with financially. That last one was my rule. Because 2 years ago, we'd had a financial consultant named Mallory who gave friendly, budgeting advice while wearing cropped blazers and licking the tip of her pen like it was foreplay. I saw the way he looked at her. He swore it was professional. Anyway, opening the marriage was weird, at first. I didn't run out and sleep with anyone. Honestly, I didn't want to. But Eric blossomed. Like instant glow-up. He started working out again. Started using cologne he hadn't touched since our honeymoon. He shaved his chest. I didn't even know he had chest hair. He became attentive, present, romantic even. He started texting me in the middle of the day just to say, "Thinking about you." He bought me flowers for no reason. He started putting on jazz in the kitchen and dancing with me while we waited for the rice to boil. And I thought, oh my God, this is working. I felt chosen again. Like I was in competition with the world and still winning. We had rules. We were safe. Until about a month in, I got the alert. We share a budgeting app. You know, the kind that texts you when your partner spends more than $200 without tagging the expense. Eric spent $2,150 at Avalon Lofts. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe he booked us a weekend, a surprise. But when I opened the details, it was listed as recurring. As in monthly. As in rent. I froze. Avalon Lofts is a luxury building downtown, not romantic weekend luxury, TikTok sugar baby luxury. Concierge, mood lighting in the elevators, wine tastings on Wednesdays. And then I remembered. The Thursday evenings, he started calling his gym reset nights. The second toothbrush in his glove compartment. The new playlist called Night Drive, explicit. I stared at the number. $2,150. That's more than we spend on our own mortgage. I sat in silence on the couch, watching our budget explode like a grenade while my husband used consensual freedom to subsidize someone else's leather headboard. He walked in 20 minutes later, smiling, glowing. I didn't say anything. Not yet. I just kissed him, smiled back, and said, "How was the gym?" He grinned, sweaty. That night, I stayed up, stared at the ceiling, and waited. Because the game had changed. And he was about to find out what real, ethical non-monogamy felt like when the ethics bit back. The next morning, I opened our joint spreadsheet like I was checking the weather. Calm, routine, totally not about to track down where $2,150 of our money was going every month. And there it was. Recurring transfer, Avalon Lofts, rent contribution. Category, household support. Tag, family stability. Family. Stability. I stared at it like the cells might rearrange themselves into a better lie. And then I saw the note. A little grayed-out memo, field attached to the expense. As discussed with Mallory, Q1 redistribution. Mallory. As in Mallory Green. Our former financial consultant. The woman who used to come over every other Thursday with printouts, highlighters, and a perfume that smelled like executive manipulation. She left our account a year ago, said she was transitioning to selective clientele only. I assumed that meant tech bros and startup divorces. Apparently, it also meant she was fucking my husband. I typed her name into Instagram. Nothing. Private. LinkedIn still had her listed as independent financial strategist. But in her featured content, there it was. A smiling selfie on a balcony, half a wine glass in frame, view of downtown. Geotag, Avalon Lofts. Caption, views better when it's earned. I checked the timestamp. 3 days ago. Eric said he was at the evening spin class. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was so dumb, so obvious, so painfully cliché that the woman who once helped me negotiate credit card rates was now using my money to live her Carrie Bradshaw fantasy with the man who used to forget my birthday if Google didn't remind him. That night, I waited. Again. Eric came home late, smiling like he'd just discovered a new kind of protein shake. I was on the couch. Wine in one hand. Laptop in the other. The spreadsheet open. Hey, I said, quick question. Shoot, he replied, tossing his gym bag near the door. Who's Mallory billing for family stability now? His whole body stiffened. I don't know what you mean. I turned the screen toward him. He stared. Silent. Like if he didn't breathe, maybe the numbers would disappear. You said this would be equal, Eric, remember that? No money involved, total honesty. He opened his mouth. Closed it. Then tried again. She needed help, okay? She was between clients. I didn't want to tell you because you'd overreact. Overreact, I snapped. You've been paying her rent with our mortgage money. It's not like that. Oh, really? What's it like then? Enlighten me. TED talk me through how paying your lover's rent with our joint account falls under ethical non-monogamy. He sat down. Rubbed his face like he was the victim here. She's different, he said softly. It wasn't supposed to be this serious, but I connect with her. There it was. The word that men use when they want you to think betrayal is poetry. Connect. He connected with her so hard she now had hardwood floors, a balcony view, and our line item labeled stability. She's not like the others, he added. The others. He flinched. I stood. Paced. You said this would be about exploration, not substitution. You said we were saving us. I thought we were. I laughed. Because what else was left? You opened the marriage, I said, then used it as a door to move me out without actually packing a single box. He said nothing. The silence between us was louder than anything he'd said in weeks. I picked up my glass. Drank it slow. Then whispered she was in our kitchen. She held our tax returns. I didn't plan that, he said. It just happened. Right. Because apartments and recurring bank transfers and hiding names under budgeting categories just happen. I walked out of the room. But I didn't cry. I opened my phone. And opened TikTok. Because if he could build a life on my back, I could build content on his lies. I didn't plan to go viral. I planned to reclaim the narrative. But TikTok had other ideas. It started small, just me, sitting on the floor of our walk-in closet, glass of wine in hand, soft lighting from the lamp I once picked out together with him at Target. I pressed record. No makeup. No filter. Just truth. Hi, so this is a little story called How I Opened My Marriage and Discovered My Husband Opened Our Bank Account to His Side Chick's Rent. Pause. Deep breath. She wasn't random, she wasn't young, she wasn't hot, she was strategic, our former financial consultant. Another pause, I looked straight into the lens. She used to color code our expenses, now she gets her own category. Family stability, he called it. I laughed. But not the funny kind. I talked for 5 minutes. No edits. No jump cuts. Just one long exhale of everything I'd swallowed for weeks. I ended it with, and you know what? I'm done feeling dumb, so I started a little fundraiser. It's called Save My Husband from the Golden Butt. You can Venmo me $1, $5, $10, I'll send it directly to her. Because if we're gonna call this support, let's be honest about it. I posted it before I could overthink. Closed the app. Went to sleep. By morning, the video had 312K views. By noon, it was on Twitter. By evening, Mallory texted me. Yes. She texted me. This is harassment. I've already contacted an attorney. I replied. Perfect, ask him to pay for it. I'm sure it'll come out of family stability. She never responded. But the internet did. Comment after comment. She turned budgeting into betrayal. I'm screaming. The fact that she used a spreadsheet to hide his affair, this is corporate-level evil. Can we please talk about Save My Husband from the Golden Butt? I'm donating right now. This woman is the revenge queen we don't deserve. I raised over $1,300 by accident. Mostly small donations. Mostly women. Mostly messages like, been there. Needed this laugh. This made me dump my accountant boyfriend. Even Jenna, who once ghosted me for posting a TikTok with no makeup, called me laughing so hard she couldn't breathe. You branded your pain, you literal genius. It wasn't about the money. Not really. It was about numbing the thing. The ridiculousness of it. The way he turned marriage into a performance and expected me to clap on cue. He found out that night. He walked into the kitchen, holding his phone like it was radioactive. Really, he said. Really, I replied, casually eating yogurt out of the tub. You're airing our private life to strangers. You made our life publicly shared finances, Eric. I'm just following the money. His face turned red. Not hurt. Not sorry. Just exposed. You look unhinged, he snapped. I stood up. Walked over slowly. Tilted my head. You look like a man who gave his wife Google Sheets access and still thought he could lie. He didn't respond. He didn't have to. I'd won. Not the marriage. Not the moral high ground. But the mic. And I wasn't putting it down anytime soon. He didn't knock. He just opened the bathroom door while I was brushing my teeth, leaned against the frame, and exhaled like he was the wounded party. You made me look pathetic, he said, soft. Not angry, not cruel. Just defeated. That fake, slumped shoulder energy that men weaponize when they want you to feel like you owe them comfort for hurting you. I didn't answer. He kept going. I know I messed up. I know I broke the rules, but I didn't deserve to be dragged like that. I spat out my toothpaste. Did I deserve to pay someone else's rent? Silence. Then the kicker. She didn't ask me to, I offered. That's the difference. I turned to him. So let me get this straight. You offered to pay her rent, behind my back with our money, then lied about it. And I'm the bad guy because I had the audacity to tell the truth. His jaw twitched. You could have handled it privately. I walked past him slow. Paused in the hallway. You wanted open, Eric, that's what you got. An open platform. Open eyes, open tabs, I'm just playing by the rules you wrote. He didn't follow me. Just stood there. Frozen. Like a man realizing the house he built on excuses finally ran out of walls to lean against. I opened my phone. Check the TikTok. 1.2 million views. Comments out of control. Women tagging each other. Duets with girls in bathrobes doing dramatic readings of my script. One woman sewed a pillow with family stability embroidered in gold thread. Another offered to buy me dinner. And then the idea hit me. Not out of spite. Out of curiosity. What if I actually sent the money to Mallory? Not because I supported her. Not because I forgave her. Because I wanted the receipts. So I did. Venmo'd her the full amount collected. Memo, compensation for sleeping with a man who can't even lie creatively. Then screenshot it. Posted it. Captioned, thought it was only fair she gets paid for the performance. The internet lost it. TikTok comments exploded. I can't breathe, she actually sent it. This is the most expensive humiliation campaign I've ever witnessed. I'm obsessed. You're a public service. Golden Butt Fund now a certified nonprofit. Mallory blocked me. Owen deactivated his account. My inbox, full of messages from women saying they wish they had the guts. But it wasn't guts. It was grief. Grief for the woman I used to be, so eager to meet him halfway, I never noticed he'd already left the room. Grief for every sure babe I gave when I meant I hate this. Grief for the version of me that thought boundaries were suggestions and not survival. I lit a candle that night. Not a symbolic one. An actual cinnamon thing from Target. Sat in silence. Held my own hand. And realized I was never angry he loved someone else. I was angry he did it with my debit card. It wasn't rage that made me print the papers. It was boredom. Boredom of the loop. Him justifying me translating, him pouting, me managing his shame like a side hustle. I didn't want to manage anymore. I wanted to live. So I printed the documents, put them in a manila envelope, tucked it under a copy of our 2022 Q1 budget, the same one Mallory color-coded, and left it on the kitchen table. Sticky note on top. Looks like we're finally reallocating resources. He didn't say anything. Didn't fight. Didn't apologize. He signed it in silence 3 days later, slid it across the counter like a receipt. The weird part, I wasn't even sad. I'd already said goodbye to him when I said yes to the open marriage. I just didn't know it yet. He walked out with 2 suitcases and a look that said I thought she'd break first. I didn't. Because somewhere between the viral fundraiser and the cinnamon candle, I figured it out. He wasn't addicted to freedom. He was addicted to control. And I was done being the woman who made betrayal comfortable. A week later, I posted the final TikTok. I didn't cry. Didn't roast. Didn't name drop. Just me sitting in that same walk-in closet, hair in a claw clip, voice calm. This is your sign to stop forgiving someone just because they say sorry pretty. Stop being the budget line they write off every time they find themselves. You are not a spreadsheet. You are not a fallback fund. You are not the quiet girl who lets the louder ones take what you earned. The views didn't matter. The DMs didn't matter. The closure was already done. I kept the fundraiser page up for another week. Then changed the title. Redirecting Golden Butt Funds, now investing in women who left. The next week, I made my first Venmo transfer. To a woman in Ohio. Single mom. Just found out her fiancé used their savings to buy OnlyFans content from a girl who turned out to be his coworker. I sent her $200. Memo, stability belongs to you now. She messaged back, "I cried reading that, thank you, I didn't think anyone saw me." But I did. Because I'd been her. And the next woman. And the one after that. Until I stopped. Until I said, no more budgeting my soul just to feel affordable to someone else. Looking back now, maybe I should have stayed quiet. But then again, maybe I finally said enough. The courthouse smelled like old toner and passive aggression. I wore black. Not for drama. Just because I look better in it. And because Mallory once wore white to a financial planning event where I was speaking. Which, in hindsight, felt prophetic. Eric showed up late. Of course. No tie. Cheap sunglasses. Face already sweating, even though it was barely 10 a.m. He didn't say hi. Just looked at me like I was the one who'd nuked his life and live-streamed it. Which, to be fair, I sort of had. The clerk handed him the final draft of the divorce decree. He glanced at it, scoffed. "You really want to go through with this?" I blinked. "Is that a real question?" He sighed. Shifted his weight. Said the line every guilty man eventually lands on when the PR fallout becomes worse than the actual breakup. "You didn't have to make me into a joke." I looked at him. Long and flat. "You made you into a joke, I just published the punchline." He clenched his jaw. "I lost clients." "Cool, I lost a decade." He said nothing. "Sign the paper." The pen slipped once. I didn't comment. He always had bad handwriting. When we were done, I walked past him. Didn't flinch. But when I got outside, I didn't go home. I went straight to the bank. Because petty isn't always a TikTok caption. Sometimes it's a certified check. I closed our joint account. Had them print the balance. Typed a note on my phone and slid it across the counter to the teller. Send this amount to his account. Memo line, last payment toward the life he pretended to earn. The teller looked confused. I smiled. Don't worry, he'll get it. By the time I got home, my phone was buzzing. Eric. Texting. Calling. Then Mallory. Then his sister. Because apparently, he'd posted a long, self-pitying paragraph on Facebook about cancel culture in relationships and how he was being financially abused by a system that rewards public humiliation. Jenna sent it to me with a caption that just said, "Sir, you were out here funding brunch dates and balcony selfies." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Because the comments under his post did it for me. Maybe don't pay your mistress with your wife's grocery budget next time. You lost your marriage, not your voice, but the world just heard hers louder. Imagine confusing freedom with freeloading. I donated to her Golden Butt Fund, and I regret nothing. He deleted it by sunset. Mallory never posted again. The TikTok stayed up, but I turned off the comments. Because at some point, the noise stopped being cathartic and started being clutter. This wasn't his reckoning anymore. It was my recovery. The house feels bigger now. Not because he's gone. Because I stopped shrinking to make space for him. People keep asking, "Do you feel better? Was it worth it? Would you do it again?" I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. What I do know is this. The quiet feels different now. It's not anxious. It's not sharp. It's just quiet. Like the kind that lets you think clearly. Like the kind that holds you instead of hollows you out. I don't miss him. I miss what I thought we had. I miss the version of me that believed partnership meant partnership. That love was logistics plus longing. That honesty could be agreed upon like a credit limit. Turns out, love without respect is just a really expensive habit. And I was the one paying. Emotionally, mentally. Literally. I bought the lie. Bought it monthly. Paid it off in therapy. I walk past the closet where we used to keep the wedding photo. Now it holds yoga mats and broken chargers, and one single empty frame. Sometimes I think I'll fill it again. Maybe with something dumb. Like a parking ticket I fought and won. Or the receipt from the cinnamon candle that didn't cure anything, but made my home smell like something better. I don't post about him anymore. Not because I'm over it. Because I'm past it. There's a difference. Getting over something is fast and loud. Getting past it is slow and quiet, and boring in a way that feels holy. I still use the budgeting app. But now it's just me. Line items like things I bought without guilt. Stuff that made me laugh out loud. Investments in joy, even the dumb ones. Last week, I bought myself a vintage record player. No reason. Just felt like hearing music that doesn't come from my phone. Put on Etta James and danced in my kitchen like I was trying to seduce my own peace. And for the first time in years, I didn't check to see if anyone was watching. No performance. No approval. No audience. Just me. Looking back now, maybe I should have walked away quietly. Maybe I should have let the shame be private. Maybe I should have swallowed it all and moved on gracefully, like women are trained to do. Or maybe, just maybe, I finally said enough. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.